electricity, no phones, horse and buggy, etc. So we really had to like come together and work together. And I think that that's something really relatable even today of needing, to find each other and connect.
You're starring in When Hope Calls, which, season 2 is premiering April 3rd and or April 6th, depending on where you want to watch it.
Yes.
Were you a fan before coming on for season 2?
Yeah, I remember actually originally auditioning for season one for a completely different character, which was a while ago because there's been some time between season one and season two. And as fate would have it, the way life goes, I guess that wasn't meant for me. And here I am in season two. And yeah, I love period pieces. I always have. And the costumes and, just getting to see what it's like to have been in that world back then. And of course, When Calls the Heart, which When Hope Calls is an offshoot of that very successful show that's been going on for, I think, about a dozen years now. So having been a fan of that and the original of When Hope Calls, it was just perfect, and it was a great fit.
Yeah, and you're no stranger to beloved TV shows because I mean you came from Heartland to
I know.
what was it like going from Heartland to When Hope Calls?
Well, there's been a lot of time since I was originally on Heartland, which I'm, one of the founding characters of Hot Ash, aka Ashley Stanton. And there's a lot of, even though Heartland is a modern day show, there's a lot of correlations between the two. Getting to work on a very closed off set in nature with animals. There's a lot of differences, and yet somehow it feels like within the same energy of family friendly content and something that we can all watch together, which somehow I found myself in this world, and it's just been a continued blessing. And I feel like a lot of people who have loved and adored Heartland for so long, and people who keep discovering it just keep falling in love over and over again. And I think they're really gonna relate and love When Hope Calls, along with Heartland.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. And I don't want to say too much because
Yes.
I don't know, like you said, people keep discovering new shows all the time, and someone watching this might discover When Hope Calls. But what is your favorite part from season 1?
I just really love the dynamics of the children in the orphanage. I think that that is something that we've done really well in this current season that's about to air. Just getting to see, all the different dynamics and the community coming together in the first season, and we really bring that energy back in season two. I think, back then life was a little bit more difficult, in 1920s in rural America. It's a little bit more complicated, electricity, no phones, horse and buggy, etc. So we really had to like come together and work together. And I think that that's something really relatable even today of needing, to find each other and connect. And that's a really great bridge between the first season and the second season that we'll get to see. And there's a lot of returning characters that the audiences, if they loved in the first season, will love again and fall in love all over again. And, we get to say goodbye to some characters, but we get to know new characters such as mine, Nora Anderson, who, comes to town searching for family she never knew she had. And, she doesn't know if she's going to be accepted and embraced in Brookfield, but it turns out to be the most wonderful place and exactly what she'd been looking for and needing. And she finds all the things: community, potential romance, friendship. And, she's a lawyer, which back then as a woman was, not a particularly common thing. So she has a lot of character and strengths. And those are some of the many things that I just absolutely adored getting to play her.
Oh, I love that. Now, okay, so you mentioned you're talking about Nora.
Yes.
What is she like? Are you two like are you similar to her in your real life?
I
Did you
mean,
find parallels?
I definitely found some parallels. She is someone who is in the pursuit of, you know, finding connection and finding herself and continuously putting herself in positions where she has to continuously find grace and 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 really wants to do the right thing. She really wants to help people and be there for each other and goes out of her way to make sure that she um can be of service. And that's certainly something that I can relate to. And, although we're in very different time frames, um but the qualities of human beings are fundamentally the same. We all want to be loved. We all want to be accepted and appreciated, and that those are the things that the common ground is always there. And yeah, I just think it's really important to help each other out, and that's something that Brookfield, the town, is really good at is the community. And it's got heart, and it's funny, and there's action, and there's horses, and there's dogs, and there's a donkey. Like, it's just like all of the things that you want in a show. And yeah, I'm just so grateful to have been a part of the journey, and, fingers crossed for many, many more.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like everyone who watches the show, if I talk to anyone about it, we're all just talking about how much we want to be there and like want to go to that town and be in that town. So what is the set like? Like what is the cast and the crew and just walking through the town? What is it like?
Oh, I'll never forget my first day on set. I'd had the hair and makeup test prior to shooting, and then my costume fitting. And then on my first day, I went into hair and makeup, and then I went into my trailer and put on my costume. And, we have the petticoats, and we have the slip, and we have the skirt and the shirt. And you really have like all the layers that people would have worn then. And so just putting all of that and that kind of like ritual of like getting dressed, and and how the hair is done, and like the simplicity of it, and yet like it's much different than what I'm used to. And then I remember driving up to set, which is also kind of funny because you're in the car driving to set, and then you walk on to the lot. And so this is a standing set that is always there. So it has, the fronts of buildings, and then you can also go inside the buildings, and they've been dressed up. The general store and the hotel, and it's all done in a very authentic way for the time. And I just remember, getting to set the first day and just feeling like, oh, like I feel it now. Like I felt like all the work that I'd done prior to being on set just all made sense. And it was like I could just let it all go and just be. And it just helps, when you're in such a different world than what you're used to. It really helps embody the character, embody the world. But yeah, it's really incredible. And you've got mud everywhere, and you've got horses, going to the bathroom right there, and it's like as authentic as it gets. And yeah, the set supervisors have done such a magnificent job. And we shot in the fall, and the leaves were changing, and we were just like, it was just so wonderful. And Chris Russell, my co-star, who I've worked with on many other movies before, so it's just been a dream come true getting to work with him on this. We just like kept looking at each other, and we're like, how did we get here? And together, it was just so magical to not only be on such a fantastic show with so many incredibly talented actors, and the crew was so magnificent. And our showrunner Alfonso, he worked on When Calls the Heart back in the day, and When Hope Calls, and Jonathan Yap, who's our director of photography. Just it was genuinely one of the most wonderful experiences I've ever had in my whole life. And all of the cast, I can truly say we just laughed all the time. We always wanted to hang out when we happened to be working together. It's like it feels like summer camp where you're like, I never want this to end, but and so we're obviously very hopeful that we find ourselves back together again. And yeah, I couldn't have asked for better, truly. And I really think that that is going to be felt by the audience when they watch the show. Because you can't make that up, chemistry and energy is real. And when it's felt offset, it's felt onset, and it just felt easy. And that's the best part about getting to work on anything, is when it feels just so natural.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Now, season one left us with some cliffhangers. What can fans expect from season two?
Well, fans can expect, Jillian and Grace, who were originally the leads of season one. Grace has now moved to England to start an orphanage out there with her love. And Jillian is about to go visit her to make sure that she's okay. And then, a new potential family member comes to town, and it, audiences can expect, some change there's a change of the guard, so to speak, where, leads are changing. However, it's the same heart, it's the same family type feeling community. It's the same various like characters in town gossiping and drama. And we have Mounties, and we have, like I said, horses, and there's some bad guys in there, and there's some fights, and it's all the drama and all the love and the romance and the comedy that everyone loved. And I would say it's even more powerful this time around. And whatever it is that drew you initially will draw you right back in. And yeah, audiences definitely will not be disappointed. I feel like, we did 6 episodes this season, and it just felt like the first couple episodes are really, tying a bow into some storylines that didn't quite um get that kind of completion, and then the beginning of new adventures. And I think people are really going to get swept up by these wonderful characters. I mean, all of the characters, Sam and Maggie, that were originally in, and Ronnie, they're all back, and they're so fun and engaging. I mean, when I'm watching it, I'm barely watching myself. I'm watching all of them because they're so fun, and I just can't get enough of them. So, if you don't watch it for me, watch it for the animals and the cute kids. Oh my gosh, the orphans at New Hope Orphanage are, gosh, they are just a riot. I would say that was probably some of my favorite moments on set, was getting to work with them, because, kids say the darndest things, and when they say things, it's like, even if they said it 5 times, it's like every time is the first time. And they're just so funny, and they're so honest. And that's what I love. I feel like I learn from them all the time. So it's such a blessing to get to work with them. And like I said, getting to work with Christopher Russell, who, I've worked with 4 times before this. And so our connection, and our audiences just love us together. So it's really nice to get to do that for them.
I'm so excited. And again, I'm so excited for everyone to see this. Now, this is the long awaited season two. Can you tell us when season two comes out? for us
Yeah, so
Americans?
season 2 will be premiering on Great American Pure Flix on April 3rd. And then it will be airing on Great American Family on April 6th. And then every new episode will follow each week after that. So you don't want to miss it. And then, of course, it'll be streaming. If you want to watch it over and over again, because once just wasn't enough.
Yeah, this is definitely a show to go back and rewatch and just be so
Yes.
cozy with, and just invite your girlfriends, everyone over,
Absolutely. And
watch
if
together.
for some reason you didn't watch season 1, there's a really wonderful recap of the show. So if you didn't see season 1, it's okay. You'll still understand what's going on in season 2.
If you enjoy videos that follow your values like ours and you want to help us continue, go to movieguide.org/donate, because we're actually a nonprofit. You may not know that, but we're working in Hollywood every day to help families have more choices that follows their values. And also subscribe right now.